Alright people, so we will start with a new chapter in mathematics, and that will be permutations and combinations. A very interesting chapter in which we have to have a clarity on the different concepts involved in order to crack the problems out here. So what we'll do is we'll start with simple concepts which are linked to permutations and combinations, and we will try and cover up all the problems that have been asked in previous year IIT or maybe All India in AIE. Okay, so different engineering colleges examinations, whatever we we will try and cover up at least 50 to 100 questions which have been asked, or we will try and understand the pattern in which the questions from this chapter are asked. But for that we need to have a clear concept on the basic core concept of what an arrangement is or what a combination will lead us to. So before we start off with the core concepts of permutation and combination, the first thing that we need to have a clarity on is factorial. What is basically a factorial? Okay, so a factorial is, let's say if I say factorial 3, I can write it this way, but the most common way of writing is this exclamatory sign. So this will be 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, if I write factorial 4, that will be 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So obviously if I write factorial n, this will be n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 and so on and so forth till 1. Okay, that's how the factorial thing is taken care of. So let's say we have this problem here. If 1 by factorial 9 plus 1 by factorial 10 is equal to x by 11, you have to find out basically x. You have to find out x. So we have here 1 by factorial 9, that will be factorial 9, let's say factorial 9 plus 1 by factorial 10, this is equal to x by factorial 11. Now factorial 11 can be written as factorial 11 into factorial 10, 11 into factorial 10, basically 10 into 9 into 8. Okay, so this can be written as factorial 9 factorial 10, and above we will have factorial 9 factorial 10 plus factorial 9 is equal to x by 11 into factorial 10. So obviously the factorial 10 on both sides gets cancelled. What we have is so in this case we can take 10 into factorial 9 plus factorial 9 is equal to factorial 9 into x. So that will be factorial 9 taken as common, 10 plus 1 is equal to factorial 9 into x. So factorial 9 and factorial 9 gets cancelled. So x is equal to 11. So that would be our answer, that x is equal to 11. Okay, the second sum that we have here is find n if n plus 2, find n if n plus 2 factorial is equal to 2550 into factorial n. So what we have is n plus 2, that will be n plus 2 into n plus 2 minus 1, that will be n plus 1 into n factorial, right? We are decreasing it, n plus 2 minus 1 into n factorial, this will be equal to 2550, okay, into n factorial. So this gets cancelled. We have here n square plus 2n, or rather plus 2n plus n, that will be 3n. Okay, n square plus 3n plus 2 is equal to 2550. Okay, so how to find out the factors? Now let's say we have here n square plus 3n minus 2448 is equal to 0, or 2548, I'm sorry, 2548 is equal to 0. So let's quickly factorize this. 2548, that will be 2 12s are 24, 2 7s are 14, 2 4s are 8, 2 6s are 12, 2 3s are 6, 2 7s are 14, 2 12s are 24, 2 7s are 14, 2 4s are 8, 2 6s are 12, 2 3s are 6, 2 7s are 14. Okay, what do we have now? 637. This seems to be a prime number. 7 plus 6, 9 plus 7, 16, 49. let's say if I divide this by 49, I think it should be going 49 okay, so we will have here 147. Yes, so this goes by 49, or rather we can divide this by 13 as well, right? 49 times. So 49 times will be this. Okay, so we have 7 sevens are 49. We can, yes, we can divide this by 7, right. Okay, 7 nines are 63, 7 ones are 7, 7 ones are 7, 7 13s are, so we have here 13 ones are. So this will be the factors of 2548. Okay, factors of 2548. From here we need to get 3. So let's look at this. 7 7 49, 13 4s are 52. So 52 minus 49 gives us 3. So this will be n square plus 52n minus 49n minus 2548 is equal to 0. So this will be n into n plus 52 minus 49 into n plus 52 is equal to 0. N minus 49 into n plus 52 is equal to 0. So either n minus 49 is equal to 0, or we have n plus 52 is equal to 0. So n is equal to 49 or n is equal to minus 52. Okay, so what we have here is the value of n is 49. Okay, the value of n is 49. Similarly, we have this problem. So this is done. Let's crack this one here. But before cracking, I need to just dust it off. Okay, so what we have here is factorial n upon factorial 2 into n minus factorial 2, and the ratio of this to factorial n by factorial 4 into n minus factorial 4. This ratio is basically 2:1. So in this ratio, this and this gets cancelled. So what we have is 1 by 2 factorial into n minus 2 factorial. So that will be n minus 2 factorial is 2. 1 by 4 factorial, that means 4 into 3 into 2 factorial. This will be n minus 4 into n minus 4 minus 1. Oh, this will be more less. So this will be the lesser one. So we have here 2:1. We have to break this one basically. So here it will be factorial 2, n minus 2 factorial, n minus 3, and finally we have n minus 4 factorial. N minus 2, n minus 3, n minus 4 factorial. N minus 4 factorial and n minus 4 factorial get cancelled. Factorial 2 and factorial 2 get cancelled. So what we have here is 1 by n minus 2 to n minus 3 upon 1 by 4 3 12 is equal to 2:1. So this will be 12 into 1 is equal to, this will become 12 is equal to 2 into n minus 2 into n minus 3. So that's basically how much this 12 goes up. So obviously this one comes down. So 2 into n minus 2. So this will be 6. 6 is equal to n square minus 5n plus 6. Okay. So this 6 and this 6. Oh, are we on the right track? Okay, so 6 and 6 gets cancelled. So we have here n into n minus 5 is equal to 0. So either we have n is equal to 0 or n minus 5 is equal to 0, which means n is equal to 5. So n has got two values here, either 0 or 5. So these are certain simple problems about the factorial part of permutation and combination. Okay. We'll deal with more problems out here. Okay, so we have this problem here in which it is required to be prove that factorial 2n by factorial n is equal to 135 to factorial 2n minus 1 into 2n. Okay, so let's kind of do this. So LHS here will be factorial 2n by n, which would mean 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 2n minus 2 factorial, sorry, 2n minus 2 into 2n minus 1, and then finally 2n, okay, upon factorial n that will be 1 2 3 2 factorial n. So we have here n minus 1, then we have, sorry, n minus 2 first, then we have n minus 1, and then factorial, sorry, n. Okay, all right. So in this case, let's take the so we have here, if we notice here in the RHS, see it's even numbers. RHS, it's even numbers. So in this, of course, all the numbers are compiled. So let's segregate the odd and even. Only then we will be getting close to something that is there in the RHS. Okay, so let's say if I segregate the odd and even here, 1 3 5, and this will be till 2n minus 1, right? This will be till 2n minus 1, and we have here the even ones, 2 4 6, and this will be till 2n. Okay, upon 1 2 3 n minus 2 n minus 1 into n. Okay, n minus 1 into n. Now out of this entire thing we can take 2 as common. Okay, and how many times would 2 be common here? 2 4 6 8 till 2n. So obviously these are n terms, these are n terms. So if I take out 2n times, understand this, 2 4 6, and I take 2 common every time. So 2 common here, 2 common here, 2 common here till here. Okay, so I am taking 2 common from each of these terms, and how many terms are these? N terms. So if I take out 2 n times out, this will be 2n, and this will leave you with 1 2 3 till n. Okay, so 1 2 3 till n, and here we have 1 into 3 into 5 till 2n minus 1. Okay, this entire thing upon 1 2 3 n minus 2 n minus 1 n. Okay, so here this entire thing and this entire thing get cancelled. So what we are left with is 2n, or rather 1 into 3 into 5 till 2n minus 1 2n, and that is basically equal to RHS. Okay, so this is how we can prove this entire sum. Okay, we'll take up more sums on factorials here. Okay, so we basically have these two problems again on factorials, and we will finish off with the factorials with these two problems and move on to permutations. So pay attention here. Prove that factorial m plus 1 is not divisible by any of the natural numbers between 2 and n. Now what basically is factorial n? What basically is factorial n is 1 into 2 into 3 n minus 1 into n. That is basically factorial n. Now if I happen to divide this factorial n by any of these factors, it will be divisible. Okay, so it will be divisible by 1 of course is out of question, but between 2 to n, so factorial n will be divisible by all factors between 1 2 3. 1 of course makes no sense, but 2 to n, it is very obvious. If I divide factorial n by this 2, it will be divisible by 2, it will be divisible by 3, because all these are multiples within factorial n. If I look into it, factorial n will have multiples of 2 3 till n. Okay, so it will be divisible by all factors between 2 to n. Now if I happen to add factorial n plus 1, so the moment I add 1 and I divide factorial n plus 1 by any of these factors 2 3 4, since factorial n is completely divisible by any of these factors, by dividing this by any of these factors will leave a remainder of 1. Okay, so therefore factorial n plus 1 when divided by any of the factors between 2 to n will leave a remainder of 1, and hence therefore factorial n plus 1 is not, since we are getting a remainder, it is not exactly divisible. It is not divisible by any of the natural numbers between 2 and n. Any of the natural numbers between 2 and n. Okay, so now we will come to this part. Okay, this is another question here. Prove that factorial n square is less than factorial n to the power of n into factorial n. This is less than 2 factorial n for any positive integer n. So let's look at it here. Factorial n can be written as 1 2 3 till n. Okay, now factorial n can be written as this. Okay, now if I happen to so if you look into this, 1 factorial n is equal to 1 2 3 n. So obviously 1 will be less than equal to 1 will be less than equal to n, 2 will be less than equal to n, and so on and so forth. N will be less than equal to n. Okay, now if I multiply this row, 1 will be obviously less than n, 2 will be less than equal to n, and n will be always obviously less than equal to n. So if I multiply this entire row, what do I get? 1 into 2 into 3. So 1 into 2 into 3 till n is less than, this is how many times? Obviously this will be n times. So this will be n into n into n times. So that will be n to the power of n. If I multiply n by n times, it will be obviously n to the power of n. So this is what? This is factorial n is less than n times. Now look at this. Here we have factorial n, and this is n square. So multiplying both sides by factorial n. So what do we get? Factorial n into factorial n is equal to factorial n into n to the power of n times is less than equal to, multiplying both sides by factorial n. So factorial n was already there, you multiplied by factorial n. So this will be factorial n into factorial n less than equal to factorial n into n to the power of n. So here we have factorial n square is less than factorial n to the power of n. Okay, so this part is already proved. Now we will go for this part. Okay, so here we have 2n factorial. Now 2n factorial can be written as 1 into 2 into 3 into 2n minus 1 into 2n. Now obviously n will be somewhere in between, so that will be 1 into 2 into 3. Somewhere in between we have n, then we have n plus 1, then we have n plus 2, and finally to 2n minus 1 to 2n. I'm just breaking this up. Okay, 1 2 3 2n minus 1 2n. This can be broken down into 1 2 3 n plus 1 n plus 2 into 2n. Okay, so now this till here we will have factorial n. So this will be factorial n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 till 2n. Okay, so 2n. So this is factorial 2n. Okay, now for all positive integers, now what we have to do is okay, so this is factorial n times. Okay, let's do this. So we have n less than n plus 1, very obvious, because we don't have an equal to sound here as we had here, so we have to be careful about this. Now n will be obviously less than n plus 2, n will be obviously less than n plus 3, and so on and so forth. N will be less than n plus n. Okay, n plus n basically means 2n, right? N plus n will basically mean 2n. Clear? N plus 1, n plus 2 till 2n. So if I multiply this, it will be how much? N times. because here from n plus 1 we have gone to 2n. So this will be n plus n, right? If I do this, how many times is this? This is obviously n times. Okay, so this is can be written as 2n. So this is n, this is n times. So this will be n times, that will be n to the power of n. This will be less than n plus 1 into n plus 2 into n plus 3 till 2n. Okay, now if I multiply both the sides, by factorial n, so this will be factorial n into n plus 1 to n plus 2 till 2n. Okay, and this will be factorial n to the power of n. Now factorial n into n to the power of n is less than, now let's look at this number. Okay, if I look at this number, see we have segregated it already, 1 2 3. So this can be written as factorial n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 till 2n. Okay, so this factorial n into n plus 1 plus n plus 2 into 2n represents what? Factorial 2n. So we can write this as factorial 2n and this as factorial n, or the format that is given, n times into factorial n. So this is one equation that we have got and this is one equation that we have got. Both these have factorial n, and if I combine both this, what we get is factorial n square is less than equal to n times n to the power of n factorial n less than 2n factorial. Okay, so these were the two problems on factorials that we have done. Now we will move on to permutations. So I hope the factorial part is absolutely clear. It's nothing but it's a series of multiplications from 1 till the last number 2n. Okay. Alright, since now we have a clarity on what basically factorials are, we will now move on to the arrangement part or the permutation part. I don't know why this is getting okay. So we will now move on to the permutation part. Okay, now before we actually go into the permutation part, we need to have a proper clarity on what we are dealing with. People generally go after formulas or this will be factorial this upon this or this. So we have to have a very clear thought process on how to deal with permutations. Before we deal with permutations, it's absolutely rational to understand the basics of arrangement. Okay, now the basics of arrangement basically depends on a lot of things. For example, it will somewhere we will have to apply the principle of multiplication. Okay, this principle has to be applied at some places, and in some places we have to basically apply the principle of addition. Okay, now we will see an example here. So let's say in a class, there are 10 PCB students. There are 10 PCB students and 8 PCM students. Now these students are different. It's not that physics and chemistry are common. So let's say there are 10 PCB students, or let's say we will have 10 NEET students, 10 students preparing for the examination of NEET and 8 students preparing for the examination of IIT. Okay, now at random we have to select one NEET student and one IIT student. Okay, now look at it here. Okay, these two events are dependent on each other. You will select an IIT student after you have selected a NEET student. So these two events are dependent on each other. Okay, so in that case, what will be the total number of combinations? So the number of ways of selecting a NEET student will be, so here in the class we have 10, we have to select, the question here is we have to select one NEET student and understand this word, and one IIT student. Okay, so we have to select one NEET student and one IIT student. Let's say in a coaching class, these are the number of students out there. So you have to select one NEET student and one IIT student, which means that both these incidents are basically equally dependent on each other. So one NEET student and one IIT student is what we have to select. So number of ways to select one NEET student will be how much? So obviously 10 ways will be 10 ways, and number of ways of selecting an IIT student will be how many? Obviously 8 ways. So the total number of ways, therefore the total number of ways will be how much? 10 into 8, that is 80 ways. These will be the total number of ways in selection. Clear? Okay, now let's change the sequence a little. Okay, now you have to select one NEET or one IIT student. So you understand the difference. Here it was one NEET student and one IIT student. Here you have to select one IIT student, one NEET student and one IIT student. One NEET student or one IIT student. Now the selection of one NEET student can happen in how many ways? 10 ways. And this is all. The selection is done. The selection of an IIT student can happen in how many ways? 8 ways. So these are two independent events. These are two independent events. Here when we say and, this was basically two dependent events. These were two dependent events. So we will have to first have a clarity on where we need to multiply and where we need to add, and only then we can apply the basics of permutation and combination. So here one NEET or one IIT student. So one NEET student can be selected in 10 ways, and one IIT student, obviously out of the lot of 80 students that we have, can be selected in 8 ways. So therefore the total number of ways in which either an IIT or a NEET student can be selected will be 10 plus 8, that is 18 ways. So here we multiply. Why? Because we have to justify the condition of and here we have to add because we have to justify the condition of or. Okay, so I hope this makes clear as to how we will go ahead with different arrangements. Basic concepts need to be applied. What we would be applying here is just the factorial formula, but in order to apply the factorial formula, we need to have a basic concept of where we need to add and where we need to multiply. Okay. Okay, so we will deal with some very basic fundamental problems of let me just make some arrangement here. We'll deal with some very basic fundamental problems of permutations. For example, let's say there is a scholarship program, and there is some scholarship program. It can be given to, let's say there are 3 ways of giving scholarship to a physics student, and there are 5 ways of giving it to a mathematical student, for somebody in mathematics, or let's say 6 ways to give it to somebody in let's say bio. Okay, so there is a scholarship program that can be awarded in any of these 3 ways. There is a scholarship program that can be awarded in any of these 3 ways. 3 for physics, 5 for so if the question is how many ways the scholarship can be given, scholarship can be given. So the total ways would be 3 into 5 into 6, right? 15 6 are 90. Okay, now if the question asked here is in how many ways can one scholarship be given? In how many ways can one scholarship be given? So if it is asked how many ways a scholarship can be given, obviously 3 ways physics can be given, so the combination can be anywhere. 3 can be combined with any of these 5, and any of these 5 can be combined with any of these 6. So together if they are given, this will be 90. Okay, 3 into 5 into 6. Okay, how many ways can either, so this is basically forming an OR condition. This is forming an AND condition. This with this with this. This is forming an OR condition. Either one of this, or either one of this, or either one of this. So any one of these scholarship can be given. So this will be, so physics scholarship can be given in 3 ways. This can be given in 5 ways, and this can be given in 6 ways. So we will have 3 plus 5 11, 11 plus 6 17. Okay, 3 plus 5 8, 8 plus 6 14. I'm sorry. Okay, clear? So this is how we will decide whether to multiply or whether to add. Very simple. We have still not applied any formulas for permutation. We are just trying to understand where will we apply the concept of addition, and where we will apply the concept of multiplication. Now let's say there is another question here, that there is a room which basically has 8 doors. 8 doors. A person enters from any of these doors, and leaves from a different door, not from the one he entered, leaves from a different door. So how many ways he can do it? How many ways can this be done? Simple question. So a room has 8 doors. A person enters from one of the doors and leaves from a different door, not from the one which he has entered. So he can enter in any one of the 8 doors. He can enter from any one of the 8 doors, and after he has entered, the number of doors that he has not used, so remaining doors will be basically 7. He has entered from one of the doors, the remaining doors are 7. So therefore total combination will be how much? Total number of ways will be 8 into 7, that is 56. His entry and his exit that can happen will be 56. That's how we will basically solve these types of problems. Very simple problems, just arrangement problems. Okay, so he can enter. Let me just see whether I can pull up another problem here. Okay, so let's say there is a flag that needs to be colored for a country. For a country, a flag has to be chosen with, we generally see that there are 3 different colors, right? So these are 3 different colors or blocks which can be filled, and we have, let's say, 6 colors to choose from. 6 colors to choose from. In how many ways can we make this happen? Okay, so the first color, let's say we have chosen one color, so this can be done in 6 ways, right? The choosing of the first box or the color can be done in 6 ways. So obviously the next color can be chosen in 5 ways. Okay, and the third one, let's say the third one can be chosen in the remaining 4 ways, right? 6 ways to choose the first box and the first color, 5 ways out of the remaining colors to choose for the second box, and 4 ways out of the remaining colors to choose for the third box. So how many ways? So the total ways here will be 6 into 5 into 4, because all these are dependent events. Understand how many ways the scholarship can be given. It can be given 3 ways for physics, 5, all these are dependent events. So 90 total scholarships can be given, but if we were to choose one from each one of them, this can only be 14. Again, 8 doors and 1 door to get out, 8 doors to come in and 1 door to get out of the remaining doors. So these are dependent events, hence the multiplication. Here also the choosing of the color is dependent. After you have chosen 6, you will be left with 5. After you have chosen that one as well, you will be left with 4. So the total ways will be 6 into 5 into 4, that is 120 ways. So these are simple concepts that we generally apply. Okay, we will go into permutation, but before that we need to have a clarity as to where we have to apply the concept of addition and where we have to apply the concept of multiplication. To put it across in a very simple way, wherever you find that there is a condition that is getting justified for OR, you will generally go for addition. and wherever you have dependent events, you will go for multiplication. So AND basically qualifies for dependent events. One event is dependent on the other one happening. This event is dependent on these two happening. Okay, that's the reason it's a case of multiplication. Here also, okay, 3, after 3 have gone for physics, 5 will go for mathematics and 6 will go for, so that these are total numbers. So one event is dependent on the other. So wherever there is dependency or an AND condition you will have a multiplication. Wherever you have independent events, or an OR condition, you will generally have addition. Okay. Okay, so we have here 2 questions from NCERT. Both these questions are basically from NCERT. Okay, so find the number of 4-letter words with or without meaning which can be formed out of the letters of the word rose. Okay, when there are 2 conditions which are given, the repetition of letters is not allowed, when the repetition of letters is allowed. So let's understand, this is a very basic question, no need to go for complex formulas out here. So these are basically the 4-lettered word. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So rose, this can be filled in how many ways? Obviously 4 ways. So if we are taking the first condition, when the repetition of letters is not allowed, so we have already used 1 letter. So how many letters are we remaining with? Obviously 3. So this will be filled in 3 ways. After using this, how many letters are we left with? Obviously 2. And obviously here only 1 can be adjusted. So the number of combinations would be 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, which is basically 24 ways. 24 ways. Okay. Now the repetition of the letters is allowed. The repetition of the letters is allowed, which means what? We are allowing it. So the first box can be filled in 4 ways. The second box can be filled in 4 ways. The third box also can be filled in 4 ways, because there is no remaining letters that are left. 4 ways, repetition of letters is allowed. We are going to use the same letters once again. So this will be 4 4s are 16, 16 4s are 64, 64 4s are 256. This will be the answer. Okay, we just need to have a clarity on what is asked and how we will justify the condition. Okay, given 4 flags of different colors, how many different, this is also an NCERT problem, how many different signals can be generated if so these are basically 4 different flags. How many different signals can be generated if a signal requires the use of 2 flags, one below the other? So basically there are 4 vacant spaces, out of which we have to use 2 signals can be generated if a signal requires the use of 2 flags, one below the other. So once we have selected one flag, the selection of one flag, first flag one flag can be 4 ways. The first flag basically can be selected in 4 ways. Okay, now what are we left with? 3 flags, out of which to fill the second place we just have to use 2 flags. So the second flag can be selected in 3 ways. So total ways here will be, total number of ways will be 4 into 3, that is 12 ways. That is how you can do it. Okay, so these were typical problems, very basic concepts required here. Okay, we will move into the difficult ones as well. Okay people, so we will try a problem from IIT out here. Okay, this was basically a 2019 mains question. Okay, let me adjust this. 2019 mains question, very basic question. Basically, the number of 4-digit numbers strictly greater than the number 4321 that can be formed using the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Repetition of digits is allowed. So here we have repetition of digits. Okay, is 306, 310, 360, 288. So let's look at it. Okay, now let's take case 1 here. Case 1. Okay, we will play here with the different digits that we have. So let's say 4, 3, 2. The first number that we would be getting is 2. Here in the unit digit 4, 3, 2, 2, then 4, 3, 2, 3, then 4, 3. So in this case, what we cannot fill is 0 and 1. So out of these 0 and 1 which have been given here, we have to select numbers which are greater than 4321. So obviously in the units digit we cannot have either a 0 or a 1. It has to be greater than 2. Oh sorry, 1. So in how many ways can we fill this? This can be filled in 2, 3, 4, 5. So this can be filled by either 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So we have 4 ways of filling the units digit. So basically 4 numbers can be filled here. So this will be 4 numbers. So 4 numbers here out here. Okay, this can be filled. Okay, now let's come to case 2. Case 2. So we have here 4, 3. Now let's take the tens digit. Okay, so here we cannot have either 0 or 1 or 2. This can be filled only with 3, 4 or 5. This can be filled with either 3, 4 or 5 because we have to select a number which is greater than 4321. And let's say the last number. Now the last number, since we have selected a tens digit which is greater than 2, obviously now for the units digit we will have the entire scope to select from to get a number which is greater than 4321. Understand this? If we are selecting 3, obviously all the numbers irrespective of whatever we place in the units digit will be greater than 4321. Okay, so in this case how many numbers can we select? All from 0 to 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many combinations can we get? Here we have 3 ways, here we have 3 ways, and here we have 5 ways. So how many total combinations will we get? 3 into 5, that is 15 numbers, right? 3 into 5, because these are dependent events. First you select these 3, 4, 5 and repetition is allowed here. Okay, so we will have 15 numbers out here. Let's take case 3 here, case 3, in which we will come to this digit. Okay, so let's say we have here 4 and now this 3 can be filled by only 2 ways, that is 4 and 5. Okay, now this can be filled in any of the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 ways. This also can be filled by any of the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so how many ways do we have here? 5 ways. How many ways do we have here? 5 ways. All of these cases that we are taking and justifying greater than 4321. How many ways do we have here? 2 ways. Okay, so the total number of ways, so here it will be 2 into 5 into 5, 25 2, so this will be 50 numbers that would be available. Okay, all right, so now we come to the last number, that is 4. So obviously here we can fill it in 5 ways. We all know 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 0, 0, 1, 2. Oh, I am going wrong here. 6 ways. 0, 1, 2, 3. Yes, 6 ways. Sorry, this will be 6 ways. And I am so sorry. This will be 6 ways. This will be 6 ways, and this is 2. So 2, because it is greater than 3, so we only have 2 options for. Okay, 2 into 6 into 6. So 36 2s are 72. So they have 72 numbers. Here also there will be a mistake, I guess. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 6 here. I am so sorry. So this will be 18 numbers. We have 72 numbers here in case 3. We have 18 numbers here in case 2. And here we have 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it is correct. 4 numbers. Okay. Now how many ways we can fill this? 5 ways. Repetition is allowed. So 5 ways here and 6 ways. I am so sorry. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 ways here, 6 ways here, and 6 ways here. How many ways in which we can fill it with a digit here so that it is greater than this 4321? We only have 1 digit out here. So this is just 1 way. Okay. So the number of ways that will be possible here is 1 into 6 into 6 into 6. So that's 6 6 are 36. 36 into 6. 216 ways. So this will be 216 numbers. So the total number of numbers we will have here is, therefore total numbers which are possible, total numbers will be 4 plus 18 plus 6 plus 72 plus 216. So that will be 6, 7, 8, 8 plus 6, 14, 14 plus 4 18, 18 plus 8 26, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 7 10, 10 plus 1 11, 2 plus 1 3. Do we have an option here? No, 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 I am going wrong somewhere. 4 plus 8 12, 12 plus 6 18, 19 20 26, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 7 10, 10 plus 1 11, 11 11. Why are we not getting this? Some problem here. Let me just check. Are the options correct? Some addition problems have happened. I suppose some addition problems have happened. We have 4 numbers here. We have 18 numbers here. The options are all the same. Oh, why am I adding this 6? Oh, I am so sorry. So 4, 18, 72 and 216. Yes, now we might get the answer. So this will be 6, 7, 8, 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 4, 16. Then we have 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 7, 9, 9 plus 1, 10. That will be 306. Yes, this will be the answer. This will be the answer. Okay. Simple problem on arrangement. No difficult concepts involved here. A very simple problem that was asked in IIT Mains 2019. Okay, so let's take up another problem. This one is also from IIT. This one is also an IIT problem. A n digit number is a positive number with exactly n digits. So this is basically an n digit number is a positive number with exactly n digits. It has got exactly n digits. 900 distinct n digit numbers are to be formed using only the 3 digits, that is 2, 5 and 7. The smallest value of n for which this is possible is 6, 7, 8 or 9. Okay, so what we'll do is distinct n digit, which means different n digit numbers which can be formed using the digits 2 I'm sorry 2, 5 and 7 is obviously how much? 3n. This will be 3n, right? 3 numbers are there and n distinct digits, so this will be 3n. Okay, now 3 to the power of n. Now an n digit number is a positive which exactly n digits. 900 distinct n digit numbers are to be formed using only 3 digits 2, 5 and 7. Only the 3 digits 2, 5 and 7. The smallest value of 1 for which this is possible. So 3n has to be greater than equal to 900, right? So in this case, what do we have? This can be written as 3 square into 100, right? This can be written as 3 square into 100. So 3n is greater than 3 square into 100, which means 3n by 3 square. This will be greater than 100. This is to be divided by 3 square. So we have 3n minus 2 is greater than equal to 100, right? Now how to solve this? How many options do we have? Now if I have 3 here, obviously this has to be converted to a multiple of 3. So we have 3 into 33 as 99, and then we have 3 into 34 as 102. So 3n minus 2 has to be greater than equal to 3 to the power of 102. That means we're getting confused here. 3 3s are 99. Is the option given correct here? Let me check. So if I say 3, this 300, right? 3 into 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27, 27 3s are 81, 81 3s are 240. Okay, 81. So after 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27, 27 3s are 81. After we do 81, so this will be 243. So this has to be greater than 3 to the power of 5. See, 100 is when we go 81. After 81 we directly have 243. So the first number that we would be picking up, since this is a multiple of 3, this also has to be a multiple of 3. This will be greater than 3. So we have n minus 2 greater than 5. N is greater than 7. N is greater than 7. Okay, so this is how we will pick this up. Okay. Alright, so we have 2 more problems out here from IIT. Okay, in a college of 300 students, every student reads 5 newspapers and every newspaper is read by 60 students. Just playing with words out here. Okay, in a college of 300 students, every student reads 5 newspapers and every newspaper is read by 60 students. The number of newspapers is at least 30, at most 20, exactly 25, none of the above. So let's look into it. Okay, so 300 students and every student reads 5 newspapers, so total will be equal to 300 into 5. Okay, total newspapers will be 300 into 5. Now if the number of newspapers and every newspaper is read by 60 students, every newspaper is read by 60 students, let the number of newspapers, or this will be not the total newspapers actually, 300 into 5, yes, let the number of, so in a college of 300 students, every student reads 5 newspapers. No, this is not the total number of newspapers. So there are 300 students and each of these students read 5 newspapers. So the total number of reading actually, total reading, it is 300 into 5. Let the number of newspapers, let the number of newspapers be equal to n. Okay, now n newspapers, every newspaper is read by 60 students, so this will be n into 60, right? Every newspaper, so n number of newspapers will be read by n into 60 students, and this will be equal to 300 into 5. 300 into 5, so this will be n is equal to 300 into 5 by 60, so this will be exactly 25. Okay, in a college of 300 students, every student reads 5 newspapers, so 300 into 5 is the reading. Now let the number of newspapers be n, so n into 60, each every newspaper is read by 60 students, so again this would be the reading. Okay, the total reading, this is reading and this is also the reading part. Okay, the reading part, so n into 60 will be 300 into 5, so n will be 25, so this will be exactly 25. Alright, let's come to this problem out here. A 5-digit number divisible by 3 is to be formed using the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 without repetition. Okay, the total number of ways which this can be done. Okay, so now let's look at it. A number is divisible by 3 when? A number is divisible by 3 when the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. Sum of the digits, right? Sum of digits, we have studied this in earlier classes. Okay, sum of digits is divisible by 3. A number is divisible by 3 when the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So how many we have? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What combinations can we get in order to make this number divisible by 3? So we can get a combination of 0, and we have to form a 5-digit number basically. 1, 2, so actually we have 6 numbers out of which we have to form a 5-digit number. So the first combination will be 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, right? 5 plus 4, 9, 10, 11, 1, 12. This is giving us 12. 12 is divisible by 3. The second combination can be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 3 plus 4, 5, 1, 6. So we have to maybe take care of this 0. Okay, so let's start from 1. 1, 2, 3, 3 plus 4, 5, 1, 6, 6 plus 4, 10 and 5, 15. So this will be 15, which is divisible by 3. So these are the two possible combinations that we can get. These are the two possible combinations we can get. Otherwise there are no possible combinations that will give us a number which is divisible by 3. So let's say if we 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 plus 3, 7, 8, 9, 1, 10, not divisible. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is divisible. Okay, then we have 2, 3, 4 and 0, not possible. So these are the only two combinations which are possible. One is getting off a 0 and one is getting off a 3. Okay, so either we take off a 0 or either we take off a 3 and we will get the combination. So these are the two possible combinations. Okay, now this is basically a 5-digit number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? A 5-digit number is to be formed divisible by 3. So first of all we will take this set of digits. Obviously we cannot fill a 0 here. So how many ways can we fill this place? Obviously 4. Now after we have filled this with 4 different ways, since repetitions are not allowed, how many ways can we fill this? Now we will include this 0. We have, in the first place we have not included a 0. So this can be filled in 4 ways. In the second case we will include a 0, but the first digit which has already been included here, we will not include that. So we will still be left with 4 digits. Okay. Then by using 4 digits, obviously we will be left with 3 here, then 2 here, then 1 here. So this will be 4. So total number of ways will be 4 into 4, 16, 16 3s are 48, 48 2s are 96. So this is basically case 1. This is case 1. Okay, when we are not using 3. When we are not using 3. The case 2 will be when we are not using 0. So we are not using 0 here. Okay, in this case the first place, so since we are not using 0, we don't have a complication here. So the first place can be filled by any of these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can be filled in 5 ways. The second place, obviously one digit has already been used. It can be filled by 4. The third place can be filled in 3 ways. This fourth place can be filled in 2 ways, and the units place can be filled in 1 way. So the total number of ways will be 5 4s are 20, 20 3s are 60, 60 2s are 120. So this will be the total number of ways. Since these are independent events, we have here 6, 9 plus 10, 11, 216 ways. Do we have an option here? Yes. So this will be the correct answer. Both these problems were from a little older version of IIT, but then logic is applied here. Okay. Okay, so we'll deal with this problem here. How many numbers are there between 100 and 1000 which have exactly one of their digits as 7? Okay, so between 100 and 1000. So between 100 and 1000, all numbers are of 3 digits. Basically all numbers will be of 3 digits, right? Okay, so now sorry, so this is basically our question. Let's put it in the bracket. How many numbers are there between 100 and 7 which have exactly one of the digits as 7? So let's take the first case here, when 7 is in the units digit. So 7 is in the units digit. So let's say we have here, okay, 7 is in the units digit. So we have already selected it. That is only one way of selection. Okay, here in this hundreds place we can fill any of these digits from 0 to 9, right? Except for we cannot fill 0. So from 0, so we can fill any of these digits like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We cannot take 7. We can take 8 and 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ways to fill the hundreds place. Obviously this place can be filled by any of the remaining digits. So from 0 to 9 we have already used 7 for the units place, and we have used another digit here. Okay, so we will be left with obviously 8, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10 minus 2. So we will be left with 8. No, we have used 8 digits here. We have used 1 digit here, 1 digit here. So 0 to 9 is basically 10 digits. 10 digits, out of which we have used this for without exactly. Okay, so we cannot repeat 7 out here. Okay, let's look at it here. 7 in the units digit, that can be filled in one way. That hundreds place can be filled with filled with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So this can be filled with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ways, yes. So how many ways are we left with? So we have already used one digit. Oh yes, there is a restriction on 7 but not on the other digits. So the other digits can be repeated. So here we cannot use 7. So in this one we cannot use 7, but we can use any of these digits, that is 0, 0 to 6, and then we have 8, 9. So 0 to 6 and 8 to 9. So this will be basically 9 numbers, right? 9 numbers can be filled in the, so this is basically the hundreds place, the tens place and the units place. So the total number of combinations with using 7 in the units place, that is the first case, 7 in the units place will be 8 into 9, that is 72. Because we are told that only 7 will be used once, exactly means 7 is used only once. Okay, so let's take case 2 when we have 7 in the tens place. So this is the tens place, 7 is here. Here we have any number, here we have any number. So obviously we can select any number here from, we cannot select 0, 1, 2, 6 and then 8 and 9. 1, 2, 6 and 8 and 9. So how many ways can we select this? Obviously 0 and 7 are not selected. So we can select this in 8 different ways. This can be done in 8 different ways. Now the units place can be selected from any numbers between 0 to 6 except 7, 8 and 9. So this will be again 9 ways. This is of course one way. So this will be 8 into 1 into 9 ways, that is 72 ways. So 72 ways basically for selection of 7 exactly as a units digit in a 3-digit number, and 72 ways for selection of 7 as a tens digit exactly in forming a 3-digit number. Now we will come to the last case in which we have 7 in the hundreds place. So this is basically the hundreds place, tens place and units place. So in the tens place we can select any number from 0 to 6 except for 7 because we need it exactly once. 0 to 6, and then we have 8 and 9. So 0 to 6 is basically, so we have 9 ways to select this, right? 9 numbers. Okay, this also can be done in 9 ways obviously. So the total number of ways will be 9 into 9, that is 81 ways. So we have all these as independent events. One, selecting 7 in the units digit, which is 72 ways. One, selecting 7 in the tens digit, which is exactly 72 ways, and one selecting 7 in the hundreds digit, which is 81 ways. So the total number of ways, will be 72 plus 81, that's going to be 5, 7 plus 7, 14, 14 plus 8, 22. So this will be 225 ways. This will be 225 ways. Okay.